3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Toon Clash, here with another episode continuing the brackets. We're done with the first half of round one, onto the second half of round one, with the Loud House versus Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
These are two shows. One is a classic, one is like a recent
Classic,
I would say. Yeah, because it's pretty good, I'd say. It's like the newest show on this bracket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as of the time of this recording, it hasn't come out yet, but there will be a spin-off, so it's clearly doing well for the channel too.
Oh, you mean with
They're like a
his
spin-off?
girlfriend? Yeah, with his
No.
girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what are we talking about now? Hey Arnold?
The Loud House.
is gonna get a spin-off.
Oh yeah, the girl, the Hispanic one. She's getting
His bully.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I think they're also working on a movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Is it live action?
No,
Oh,
it's an animated.
No,
it's an anime.
Well, it is a harem.
No, Loud House it already is.
It is a harem.
Yeah, but just get it out of our system. Get it out of our system.
no. So it's but it's Nick, so who knows when that'll come out?
Oh yeah. Like
Never.
Did the Invader Sim one even come out yet?
no,
Yeah,
neither has the Rocco one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the Invader Zim one when it's time for that bracket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's fucking wrong at Nickelodeon. I don't know what they're doing. They seem so promising, like, wow, you guys are doing the right thing, and then they're like, just kidding, fuck you guys, we're keeping this shit.
Hey, at least we got the Hound one.
Yeah.
Meh.
As though it was cool.
Well-
One of those things where it was cool when you first saw it, but then afterwards it's like,
It's better than the theatrical movie.
Oh yeah, better than that theatrical BS.
So yeah,
That's
let's talk
true.
about Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold is a great show. Hey Arnold is like this generation. Would you say this generation is like Charlie Brown thing, where it has like a bunch of like real world stuff where you go, oh fuck, like that's actually applicable to real life, where you go, oh my god, that is like such a deep message. Like I love Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold is one of my top 10 favorite shows. I think it's a great show. But yeah, I think what made it so great was like it's for like anyone. Like there's like so many different people and races in that show, and they're all just like communicating. I will say that show. There are races.
Orcs and
Orcs, there are the freaking Negroes and the Asians and the
Whoa.
That's what they are.
Jack's been by. He can say that.
I can say that.
No, I hear you. Like, yeah, Hey Arnold's one of those shows where it's like, it kind of reminds me of Recess or The Weekenders, where it's like, okay, the show has morals to it, and some of these morals are pretty heavy, and like they're not going to pull their punches. Like Milo Pony is not going to talk about fucking, I don't know, suicide or something. Versus Hey Arnold, where they somewhat touched on that.
With Pigeon Man?
Yeah, though that's kind of hotly debated. I don't know.
Well,
But
because he was in the Jungle movie. Like, so I just kind of...
alive. He's not
Yeah, so I
dead.
cut that off.
Well, yeah. Well, like I'm trying to think of some other examples where, like, there's Oscar and his reading, and family, like Miriam being a alcoholic. There you go.
Yeah.
That's stuff you won't see in ponies.
Right.
But like, I appreciate that level of maturity in their messages, where they're not afraid to tell like a story where it's like, no, there's definitely some heavy morals to this, but we don't mind that.
So glorifying a stalker.
Oh yeah, Helgo's fucked up, man.
Yeah, like seriously, like breaking into his house, taking like pieces of gum from his chair, just like making a whole. That's interesting when you go back and rewatch it as an adult. But like the show is like so damn good. But like the show, what I love about Hey Arnold, besides the characters and stuff like that, which I'll talk on later, was just like this shit got dark at certain points. Like there was that whole episode where it was like Ghost Bride, where like the whole narrative was about like this woman who hacked up her husband and sister with an axe and fed them to like birds and like fed like things while humming the wedding thing. That shit gave me nightmares as a kid, but it was just like, oh yeah, let's do that. Or when they went to go find that mobster who was strangling people, like, oh yeah, his ghost, like Wheeze and Ed, like he would just come up and choke you to death. It's just like so many interesting things that like,
So many of the urban legends that Gerald would tell.
yeah, exactly. They were so good. Oh,
Yeah, that's what kids did before creepypastas.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what I also like about Hey Arnold when compared to the Loud House is how like calm it is. Like
Yeah.
with the soundtrack and the setting of the show. Whereas the Loud House, obviously, like all the
It's loud.
Yeah, but then it's such a mellow show that like is so perfect in its storytelling. I don't think The Loud House has bad storytelling, but the moral is more on the nose than it is with Hey Arnold, where it feels just much more natural and it isn't talking down to kids at all.
Yeah, that's a good thing to bring up. It doesn't really feel like it's pandering to children, like, you all know not to be mean. And then it's like, yeah, fuck off. But like, I'm not implying that Loud House like does that, but like there are definitely shows like let me.
It does that more. It's not that it does that, but like it's more obvious what the point of the episode is going to be, and they just like literally spell it out at the end.
Well, Hey Arnold, like again, they did topics that like they had one on obesity. You would never see that.
Yeah,
one of the best freaking videos. Like, I honestly will share that video with so many people because like it's the best body positive thing I've ever seen before. Where like literally, for people who don't know, who haven't seen it, go check out this episode called Weighing Harold, and it's literally about Harold identifying like, oh, I'm, the fat kid, the chubby one. Everyone makes fun of me for this. And then he like tries to go lose weight, but he overcompensates by overeating. And then he like comes back even more chubbier. And there's this whole thing where he's having a mental breakdown where I don't want to do this. And there's like all these people are saying this about me. And Arnold basically says like, did you think you were fat? Did you think you were fat? And he was like, no, I liked how I was. And like, that is good. Like if you like how you are, then that is fucking just brilliant, and I will preach that message all day. If you're lying to yourself and you don't like how you are, then that's one thing. But if you generally do, like, I thought I was fine, I like myself, then that is a great message. I'm so glad they showed it, and I will like preach that episode to date. I love
Hey
it.
Arnold, like they didn't hold their punches, and I think the ensemble of the cast, the side characters were also really good. Like
Mr. Wynn is great.
Yeah.
Mr. Wynn.
The
what? What
Christmas
episode?
episode. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that Loud House can top or any other show.
No, that was heavy. But like again, an audience that wasn't being pandered to, where they're like, no, kids can take it, or maybe we'll just go over their heads and they'll get it later. Because I grew up with Hey Arnold. I have a story actually, because there's an episode where I've told my buddies this before, so like Paleo Jax, you all might know this. But like when I went to 4th grade, I was under the impression that I was going to get trashed on because
Oh my god, bro. Yeah, Saber. Like me and Saber have talked to before. I thought 5th graders were going to be these jacked like football players.
Right?
And I was like scared to go to like 4th grade. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get trash day. And trash day.
They like bend mailboxes.
Yeah, they like crush cars. Oh, like what? It's some ridiculous thing. And just
they were like fucking like space marines, where they're just like massive, like hulking humans that can like bend metal. And I like, Grandpa, we're gonna sneak into a PG-13 movie. It's like you're like 83,
and you're carrying two 12-year-olds with you too.
That was pretty bad in hindsight.
Oh god, it's so bad. There's so much in there that you just look at and you just go, "Oh, that's kind of interesting to go back on."
Well, it's one of those shows where, like, I guess Hey Arnold and some other Nickelodeon shows have like they made me think like, wow, 6th graders are so old and wise and mature and developed, and I'm just a 4th grader. And then, like, I recall 5th grade me walking through a hallway as one of the senior class kids walked past me. I'm like, wow, she looks so old and like like an adult. And I'm 30 now, and I'm like, wow, 18-year-olds are just little baby faced nobodies who don't know what the fuck they're doing. So yeah, like it's but going back, I thought that trash thing was real. I spent the entire day of my 4th grade, first day as being a 4th grader at school, looking over my shoulder, freaking out. Got home, I'm like, Mom, no one trashed me, and she's like, good, like, good on you. So yeah.
Oh god.
What was the short guy's name?
Which one? The little
Sid?
No. In the apartment complex.
Do you mean the?
Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie. Remember when he dated like Jennifer Tilly?
That
Yeah,
was
the
a
model
good episode.
Yeah. And it was just like, I don't want to date you because you are a little person. And he was just like, well, we spent this entire day together. I was kind to you. I thought we had great chemistry. And if you can't see that, then I don't need you. Or something like that. That was like that was a good like thing. Like, not everyone's gonna like it. But then
hold on. She's the voice of the girl monster from Monsters Inc., right?
Yeah, she's also.
So she dated Mike Wazowski, but she wouldn't date her. That's bullshit.
She dated a killer doll, but she won't date him.
yeah, like Chucky's bride.
Yeah, Chucky's bride. She dated a paraplegic too. Freaking Joe from freaking Family Guy. So it's just like you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. No,
I think I also liked about Hey Arnold that they were like very specific problems they would have sometimes. Like Helga's mom was an alcoholic, or like one of the students got like was stuck in school for 4 years in a row, and those were like specific problems kids can find themselves in. It's much less broad than some other Nickelodeon shows. Like it addresses those problems very gracefully, I think.
Remember when Phoebe was talking to the principal and it was like, where are you from? Kentucky, sir.
Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, there's an episode about addiction. Like, these are things where I think you can go back and watch this show, and as an adult, also find it very applicable to like your, current life. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I know that this episode's about addiction, or
Sid with his OCD. Sid like was excessive, like he was like, "Oh, germs are everywhere. I can't do this." Or like he thought when he freaking thought freaking Stinky was a vampire, and he was like, "No, he's chewing on the neck of a goat. What the hell is wrong?"
I as a kid, like I was like, "What the fuck are beetle boots?" And then spent the rest of my life just with that knowledge in the back of my head because they were like, "Beetle boots." I'm looking it up right now.
Monkey Man did nothing to say that kid.
Yeah, Monkey Man did what now? Nothing.
Monkey Man was like at that like dance party, like it was like at a fancy party, and like Sid was getting mugged, and then like this guy like just came, they like just started like pulling him over. They didn't hold back. They showed like the guys like just dragging him and Sid's like getting him, and he has like a black eye and stuff like that later. And then they just took his go-go boots, and then later on Monkey Man went and got him. But like there was like a lot of like assholes in that show, like who did stuff. Like I remember there was like that one guy who like beat up Arnold on the bus, and then he like became like so obsessed with like martial arts he started training. And then there's this person who came up to him and was just like, I feel so bad when I watched that scene until I realized that was a motherfucker who stole his football. But yeah, okay.
Yes.
That's what the bus stop was.
The bus stop.
It's just the bus stop.
No, this has got a bunch of good moments like that.
I'm glad Gerald was cool.
We're gushing on Hey Arnold, so let's go to the Loud House.
Yeah,
who's first?
Well, Paleo got me into Loud House, so why don't you start us off?
Yeah, or wait, I thought you started watching it first.
No, because remember you told me one person said puns a lot, and I love puns.
Oh yeah, Luann.
Yeah, my favorite character.
I do like all the sisters are great. Because Loud House is like this one kid that has 10 sisters. But Loud House has a lot of great episodes, like focused on those like different characters, and I like shows that really play around with that because they all have like very different interests.
Exactly. Like
there's like multiple episodes with Luann where Luann like on April Fool's Day will like prank the entire family, and like the family's like trying to run from her.
Yeah, they're like running for their lives from her. Like, I like how they did the thing where most old shows did in the first 2 seasons where they hid the parents' faces.
Yeah, they did that for the first couple, or was it just the first season?
I think it was like the first 2 seasons. Then they started showing them.
Why did
I remember. I don't remember, but I love that how they flipped that trope on the ground like during the Christmas episodes. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna show you their faces early on. I was like, oh snap, that was actually kind of smart because they did that thing before where they were like just hiding the faces like Cow and Chicken's parents or something like that, or like just and then like I think each of the characters, excluding like I think like Lola's the only one that just like annoys me, but like I think like most of the girls I like enjoy like their personalities. Like I love that like like there's the sports one, the goth one, the smart one, the dopey one, this like the teenage one who's just like the straight one of the group, like the straight man of the group or straight woman of the group, where they're just like serious with that stuff. And it's just I like all the characters, and Lincoln's like pretty cool, and I do like what I will say, give this show that I will say is like they make like LGBT stuff like so natural. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, that's shoehorned in or something like that. Like some people will argue about. It's just like, oh, Clyde has 2 dads. That's quite fitting. It's just like very perfect. Oh, which one? God, I like which one's the bi sister? The one
Luna.
Luna, yeah, Luna. Like Luna likes this girl at school and stuff like that. So it's just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like the way they do that, I really do like the fact that they do it so organically, where it just feels so natural instead of like you're just going. Because sometimes people out there will just say, oh, this doesn't feel right because of blah blah blah. But it's just it doesn't matter. Like this does it so perfectly in my opinion. And I love the cast. Like there's so many episodes that I laugh at, but again, I'm biased because all puns make me laugh. I'm that guy. Like if you make a horrible pun, I will laugh at it genuinely hard. Like I will be that guy. So like the show just makes me crack up, and I think it's a great wholesome show, and it's just like a cool slice of life show. And then there's a reason it's called like that harem show of all time. But it's like I really enjoy it. I really do enjoy the series.
Yeah, but even just that she's bi shows that there's more to the characters than like just the trope they're based on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even with the parents, the parents feel like actual characters instead of just there were like episodes focused on them, or an episode focused on Lincoln that then shifts over to I don't know which one the goth one was. I have trouble.
Lucy.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, Lucy.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course, Panis.
But no, they are all very distinct. They all get their time to shine, which is difficult with 10 or like 12 characters in the family. And no, but they pull it off very well, and it never feels like too much time is spent on one of them or the other. And yeah, when there's like one where the entire family goes on a family trip, you see how well they work off of each other and how difficult it can be in a house like that, but they always come around in the end. And the morals get very apparent, but they're also important one, like how it's about sharing, how it's about like finding your place in the family, just like depending on one another.
Oh, there's this one great one that I saw recently where it was Luann and Lucy, those two interacting with each other, and like because Luann was helping Lucy with her poetry and stuff, and like speaking in front of an audience, and she was saying like it was taking like years of her like doing her comedy to get good at it, and then like Lucy suddenly gets this
opportunity
opportunity to like speak at the place that she wanted to for years, and she's like gets like so jealous.
Yes.
But eventually comes around to it.
Yeah, that's the great thing about
Wasn't the mom actually there too?
Yeah, I think all the family was there. Like all the family went to it. Because like what's great about the Loud House is it doesn't have one of those like mean-spirited endings where it's just like, like if something happens, it's like, okay, well, you kind of deserve that. That was like what you get. But like it's never like one of those things where like you remember like how Ed like something like Ed and Eddie would be like, oh well, they all got beat up for nothing. And it was just like, oh, that's kind of mean spirited for no reason. But then like with this, it's just like, oh well, yeah, that's a generally heartwarming thing. Like you most of the time when you watch the show and you finish an episode, you don't leave it going like, oh, well, I feel down. You feel like, oh, that was nice. That was a nice little episode. Or sometimes you're grossed out because like that's the thing. I agree with Paleo.
There's some gross out humor that I'm like, that's a bit too far.
Yeah, like we're freaking that girl in her bucket of pee, or whatever. It's like what the fuck, whatever. It was interesting.
Yeah,
but so far I do love the show. I think it's a great show. Like I do watch occasionally. I did fall off watching it for like a couple seasons, but like I just when it's on TV, I'll watch it and I'll always enjoy it. It's never anything that I go like, oh, that is on or something like that. It's like one of the rare few shows on Nickelodeon that I'll go like, yeah, I'm definitely sitting down watching this.
It's one of their few recent shows that have become a hit.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things. Like to their credit is that they like kind of snapped Nickelodeon out of their SpongeBob craze.
Yeah.
Because like it's a weird predicament because like that's not Loud House's like responsibility to make Nickelodeon like.
Yeah, it's Nickelodeon's responsibility.
Yeah, that's programming problem, but it was refreshing. Like, oh wow, they've actually made a show that's unique and good and has a different visual style, and it's not just a sponge over and over and over.
It has such a different message than SpongeBob too. Like it has an actual message, and just like it's not just that it's humans, but it's far more relatable. It's less about the cartoon aspect of it, but more like portraying an interesting family scenario. So it's very refreshing for the network.
Yeah. So like just to like take it, like,
sorry, I was just talking about Nickelodeon shows. Bailey and I were hanging out. We were talking about like a foreign, that like one Oscar-nominated foreign animated movie where it's like the girl from like Saudi Arabia with their hijab, whatever.
Oh,
And
the breadwinner.
Yeah, but
Breadwinners?
I was fucking it up and I was calling it the Breadwinners.
Oh,
like
God.
breadwinners. Yeah.
I was like, no, that's
No.
another show. But
Yes.
I'm sorry, continue. I interrupted you, Jax.
Oh no! I was just gonna like say my like finishing points on like that and Harold. Like I think like Loud House is like a great show, really well done. But again, like it is playing it sort of just safe with like, oh yeah, it's a thing. I will appreciate, like I said earlier, that it does. It introduces characters that are just like, oh yeah, this person is this way, and it's like completely natural, or like the way you watch it is always like a slice of life thing. But for Hey Arnold, I generally do appreciate like how all the characters like just had this thing. Like if you put on Hey Arnold, like you're like, yo, bro, you want to watch all of Hey Arnold with me? We're ordering pizza, we're watching the entire thing. Like I just miss Arnold so much. The fact that like each of the stories is like either unique. Like the only episode of Hey Arnold I can say like I really don't like watching is like there's two. There's one with they didn't believe him about the woman with the case on who left the money on the bus, and he was like some woman with red hair left the money on the bus or something like that. Like, and then there was another one where what was it? The kid had to dress like was in bunny pajamas, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you got to walk in bunny pajamas because of this thing." And I thought that was just I hate that episode. That was just a stupid episode.
Supposedly the creator hates that episode, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I read that on the.
Wait, what episode was it now?
You remember the episode where Arnold had to bring his homework, bring that one kid's homework over to his house, and he was in bunny pajamas, and he was like, "Arnold, what the hell are you doing in here?" And he was like, "What are you doing, man?" I forget who the kid was.
Oh yeah. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, and he was just like, "Oh, well, this is what I do," and then Arnold just kept laughing about it. And then, like, he told Stinky, and Stinky's a blabbermouth, and he told Harold, and Harold's a bully, and like all this stuff. But like, they like all started like picking on the kid who had the bunny pajamas, and then at the end Arnold had to humiliate himself to like wear bunny pajamas walking down. I just like, well, that was just a shit episode. I did not like that episode at all. And just the way it could go from being like really bright, really dark, the variety of characters they have. Like I still remember like certain things like Curly cracks me up with his insane like ass. He's just like fucking a mental person. What was it? Rhonda Wellington Lloyd is funny. Harold like always cracks me up when he's just picking on someone and he starts turning into a little baby. Stoop Kid like won't leave his stoop. Like that was just episode that brought up a whole bunch of questions. Like how does he freaking go to the bathroom? I mean, does he go inside or like is he just stuck on that stool? I don't know. But like yeah, there's just so much that I appreciate. There are little niches. There's like the deep moments, the comedy moments. One thing I did like a lot of what was it? I did like the fact that they kept for a series that has a titular character, they recast Arnold a lot, but they always brought back his voice actor as like someone else. Like Wolfgang was the first Arnold.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
that's great.
And then like Ludwig was the second Arnold, and then Torvald, I believe, was another. I can't remember which one. But,
It's fucking like a chain of memories or something.
Yeah, dude, it's like so cool. I love that. I love that whole aspect.
How about this? I want to. I adore the relationship of Grandpa and Grandma. How like. Where are you off to, Pookie? I'm gonna take down the government. All right, have fun. I fucking love that. I used to see Grandma running in the background doing crazy shit with her.
Oh, yeah, she's just doing that crazy shit all the time, and then it's just like their love is just like so natural because it's just like that episode where his grandpa thought he was dying, and he was just like, "Well, yeah. I'll miss you, Slim," and it's just like she was just like, "Well, I love you to death, so it don't matter." But
she probably knew that he was fine. She's just humoring him. Do you want to cast votes here?
Yeah, let's cast votes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, you know what? I think I've said my point. Arnold is just one of my top 10 favorite animated series of all time. I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen all the way through. The Jungle movie was a bit, but it was still cool to see those kids again. So I'm definitely going.
And better than the theatrical movie.
Oh yeah, We don't talk about that. What theatrical movie? That shit didn't happen. No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Loud House's visual style. Like it looked like a comic book, which also like makes it seem like a modern day Charlie Brown, except for way less moral. It's more about the comedy and these characters, which are fun. It's a fun show to have on in the background, but I wouldn't go out of my way to defend it. I'm just glad it's doing well for the network. But Hey Arnold is just like an almost perfect show for what it's trying to achieve, with just like being a grounded show with tons of charm and moral that's grounded in itself, but it's also funny. So yeah, definitely Hey Arnold.
All right.
Hey Arnold, yeah, by a long shot. Loudhouse is good, and they've done some great work on Nickelodeon, and be welcome to see more shows like that. But like Hey Arnold's one of those like cartoons that really made Nickelodeon stand out. Like I know that there's like the original like Doug and Ren and Stimpy and Rugrats, but Hey Arnold was just, I don't know, it was one of the best shows on the network.
Yeah, I remember seeing one of the like the behind the scenes things when it was like sort of new, playing as a commercial of like the kid voice actors doing the voices of the characters, and I remember just like watching it every time there was a new episode.
Remember when it was claymation?
Yeah, that was a throwback.
When it was on Sesame Street or something.
Yeah, it used to be on like Sesame Street or some show like that, but it was like claymation. So I was like, that's where I first saw it. I was like, oh snap, this is getting the show. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Pan, what's your vote?
Well, it's kind of hard since like Hey Arnold has done so much and has a complete series of things, and Loudhouse is fairly new, but I guess I had to go for Hey Arnold.
Yeah, same. Like Hey Arnold is a really great show. I still love the Loudhouse though. I think it's hilarious. But Hey Arnold is just like one of those big shows for the network. So yeah, I guess Hey Arnold is moving on to the next round.
Yeah.
So we'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Football head.